All right, in this session with Audacity, we're going to work on splitting tracks and editing by splitting a track. So here's how this will work. I have a handout on Drive L, the courses drive. So if you go to Start and go to Computer and double click on the courses drive, what you'll need to do is select your class period, which is actually the only one you'll see. So I'll use period 3 as an example. So I'll double click. You go inside the assignments folder, double click, go inside the Audacity folder, double click there, and then we're doing this splitting tracks. It's session number 5, splitting tracks. So I'm going to double click there. Now, to see the handout, to see the instructions if you need it, it's right here, Edit with Split. So I'll double click that and I'll pull it up. And we'll kind of work through this together in this movie, and then you can work on it yourself. So we're going to import a track, and we're going to make some splits in the track and do some editing. All right, well, the first thing we'll do is import the track here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll get this out of the way for a minute, but I'm going to kind of hop back to it, close this window here, and I'm going to start Audacity. All right, I'll just close the help box. And to get the track into Audacity, I'll go to File, I'll go to Import, I'll go to Audio. Now I've got to get to that courses drive, Drive L. So I'll go to Computer, I'll go to the courses drive, Drive L. Pick your class period, go inside Assignments, Audacity, Splitting Tracks, and then it's called Months of the Year. It's right here. So I'm going to open that up. Now, if I go ahead and play this, we're going to find that
March, December, August, May, October.
You get the idea. This is the months of the year, but they're all out of order. And really, the goal of this assignment is to learn how to split this track up and rearrange things and get it in the order that you want. All right, so I've got it pulled in here, and you can see that we've got it all in the wrong order. So the next thing that might help you is to make what's called a new label track. I've got all the instructions right here on this handout, so we'll kind of work through this part. All right, I'm going to go back to Audacity. I'm going to go to the track menu, and I'm going to add a new label track. Now, that track appears down at the bottom here. It's a label track. So if you want, I think this kind of helps. There's a little drop arrow on the label track, and you can move it up. Well, let's look at what that looks like. Here's the little drop arrow, and I'm just going to say Move Track Up. I think that kind of helps. Now, what we can do as we go along here, we can find spots in the file that we want to label, and we can just stop playback and click in that track, and then we can type a quick abbreviation for the month. It's going to help us know what's what. Here's what I'm talking about. If I play this,
March.
All right, this first one right here is March. So if I click in that spot right about there, and I just start typing MAR, all right, so I've got a label there that just says, MAR, and I can kind of slide that a little bit, and it lets me know that this one is March. All right, so let's go a little farther.
December.
All right, so I can just click here and go DEC. That's good enough. Let's keep going.
August.
This one, I'll just click right here above this, and this is AUG. All right, let's keep going.
May.
All right, I'll click right in here, and this is MAY, and I'm just going to work my way through.
May. October.
This is October, OCT. I'm just abbreviating because all I got to do is really kind of know which one's which.
October. February.
All right, this is FEB. I'm just labeling on this label track.
September.
This one is SEP. Good enough, just as long as you know which one is which. That's all we're after.
July.
All right, this is going to be JUL.
July. November.
This one is NOV.
November. January.
This is JAN.
January. April.
Here is APR.
April. June.
This is JUN for June, and I do believe that that is the last one. All right, so on this label track, I've got them all labeled, and now it's a matter of kind of working with, I want to get them in order. I want to make it so this says the months of the year in the proper order. All right, so the next step here, and I'll go back to the handout, I'm going to go ahead and make some splits in between the track. And there's a keyboard shortcut or in between the months. And there's a keyboard shortcut for this that makes it really easy. It's Control-I. All right, so I'll go back to Audacity, and I'm just going to find spots in between and just go Control-I on the keyboard. And that makes splits. So it's kind of a quick two-handed thing. Control-I. I can click with one hand and do Control-I with the other hand. So I'll just kind of keep going here. Control-I. And click in between, Control-I and Control-I and Control-I, and I'm making splits in spots on this track. Control-I. Now you might have to do this on your project that's coming up here soon, your podcast project. You might have to, if you have a track and you need to split it and rearrange some things or make some space in there for something, you can do it. All right, so I've got all these splits made. So let's go back to the handout here and see what I need to do now. I'm going to make a new stereo track. I'm going to go to the track menu and go Add New, and I'm going to make a new stereo track. All right, well, here's what that looks like. I'll just go to the track menu. It's Add New, and oops, that kind of jumped around on me. Tracks, Add New, stereo track. Now that makes a new track down below the one that has all the months on it, and we're going to use that to kind of help rearrange some things and move some things around. We just kind of need some extra space to be able to move things a bit. All right, so now it's time to move these split clips so that they're in the right spot. We just got to kind of do some rearranging here. So I'm going to use the time shift tool to do this. So I'll go back here to Audacity, and it kind of makes sense that I'm going to want January to be first. All right, well, let me get the time shift tool, and I'm going to grab, here's January right here because I labeled it, and I'm just going to grab it and slide it down here to the beginning. All right, there we go. Got it. Now I'm going to want February here next, so again I'm using time shift, and I'll just grab it and slide it down here and just kind of match them up so that they're kind of butted right up next to each other. And we just keep going here. January, February, March. We'll find March and drag it down here and drop it in. And then we need April. January, February, March, April. And then we need, I just keep rolling it up here and putting these down. There's May. And I'm going to need June, and I'm going to need July, and I'm going to need August. Here's August. You can just drag them and drop them with the time shift tool. September, October, November, and December. All right, we should have the months in order now. All right, now I wind up with an empty track here because I pulled all those things off of that track. So I don't really need this empty track anymore. I'm going to hit the X on that. And really, to tell you the truth, I don't really need the label track anymore. It's really not serving any purpose anymore. So I'm going to hit the X on that as well and get rid of that. All right, so if I hit the skip to start and I play this.
January, February, March, April, May, June.
And what we ought to have is we ought to have the months of the year in the correct order. And I think we do. You can play it all the way through to make sure, but that's what you're shooting for. You want all the months in the correct order. All right, so I've done my work. I have edited, I split, I've edited, I've time shifted, I've got it done. So it's time to save it out. I'll go File, Export. I want to make sure I'm on Drive H. I am. It's an MP3 file. That's good. Months of the year, just going to keep the same file name. Don't change the file name. So I'll just save that and click OK on here, and that's it. The assignment's done. Look at that. Put the months of the year in the proper order by splitting and time shifting. We got it. All right, it's your turn. Have at it.